Hey, it's Kevin Hearn. I'm Terrydavidmulligan, and this is April the 28th, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 East, and it's a Monday. It's just another Monday until we realize that it's also Election Day in Canada. Did you do some
Sure.
advance? Did you do some advance anything? Did you just vote and get out of the way? What'd you do?
Yeah, I did the advanced voting. I always try to do that just in case something comes up last minute. I just do it when I can.
Was it? Is it ever easy? Did you just go in and do your X and walk out?
It was easy. There was a long lineup, which was, nice to see.
Yeah. Huh. And
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen at the end of this day. So I just normally we don't timestamp our interviews very specifically, but it is election day. By the way, and up ahead is something almost as important. Well, for you, most important is the Rivoli.
Come on. You're still funny.
um, yeah, I'm not going to have my humor removed, I'm afraid. So it's a solo show at the Rivoli with your friends.
Yeah, the Rivoli is the first place I ever played a show as a professional musician. I was still in high school, as a matter of fact, and it was with a band called Look People. So it sort of holds a special place for me. It'll be nice to be there. And yeah, the Rivoli on Thursday.
Man, I what do you? I mean, how long has it been since you were last on stage? Or are you always on stage?
I played in Tucson, Arizona, uh, the night before last with Barenaked Ladies.
Are they still together?
Yeah, yes.
Fantastic.
It's funny. You get on a plane and you go to play at one show somewhere, and all of a sudden you wake up and there's like, oh,
Mhm.
there's lizards on the ground. It was one of those strange gigs where we're in and out, and we played a wonderful event raising money for children with cancer, which is dear to my heart. And
Wow.
and then I came back and here we are chatting. So yeah.
How did you feel about that show in mid show? Just thinking about what you were raising funds for, leaving a legacy behind in that area.
Well, I was thinking, dedicating a song to everyone who whose lives had been touched by cancer, who had been a survivor or a support person. And I realized it's probably every single person. There are 10,000 people there. And so I just said, as a cancer survivor, we really deeply appreciate what this event is, and we're happy to be a part of it. It's also really cool to be, I know things are kind of crazy right now with the USA, but to be down there and be among good people who are
Yeah.
doing good things and sort of restored a bit of my faith and humanity a little bit.
It's hairy scary, my friend. We're living in scary times.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about your friends as well, who fought and lost their battle with cancer. And that's Gord and Lou Reed and others. Others who survived.
Recently, Kevin Staples recently from Rough Trade
That's
just
right. I
passed
saw that shot
away.
of you guys gathering for just to remember him. Was it expected?
With Kevin, yeah, he'd
Mm.
been he'd been struggling for a little while. Well, yeah, a few years.
Okay.
So we kind of knew that when we were doing these last Rough Trade shows, and he asked me to play with them because he was actually having trouble playing. So I stood behind him, and it was really wonderful to get to know him better and to work with him.
Did your last days with Gord, uh,
Yeah.
were they, did the music help any in the healing, or was it just the friendship, the love?
They certainly helped him with existing at that time.
Yeah.
And I think he really, as much as he loved the music, he loved what the music meant and the what he was trying to do with that Secret Path project, which is incredible that he was putting that much energy into that in what he knew were his last days. Um, but also he loved the camaraderie and being surrounded by friends. And we rehearsed right here in this room, and he just loved being here. Even after we finished rehearsing, he just liked to sit and listen to music or talk or go up on the roof. And that was it was precious that time, but it was bittersweet, of course.
Hey, Kev, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but what were Gord's last words? Would you share them?
Um, to his last words to me were he sent me a note and he said, "Kevin, I love you, especially right now," which I could read in 10 years, 20 years, and he'll always be right there.
My goodness.
Yeah, he had a way with words, that's for sure.
Any sign of him now?
What's that? Sorry.
Any sign of him now? And
He's always here. He I remember where he sat right there. I remember things he'd look at in the kitchen here and ask about. So yeah, he's always. I remember the band would always want to go down the street and eat lunch at Toroni or something at the restaurant. And he'd be like, "No, I don't want to go out to a restaurant. I want to go up on the roof." So I'd bring him a salad or something, and we'd go sit up there. And I think he really enjoyed having some quiet time and some isolated bliss, because he had people coming at him from all directions 24 hours a day, of course.
yeah.
As he would say, he goes, "Pack a lunch." Never ends.
Before I put it behind, because I have a 2 pages of talking points here, but you mentioned Barenaked Ladies. There's an EP coming out shortly, May.
Yes, an acoustic EP. We've picked some of our favorites from our latest record, In Flight, and recorded them live off the floor in a more acoustic setting. And it kind of goes back to the roots of the band.
Yeah, no
Started as,
kidding. Yeah,
yeah, so it's
Speaker's
always,
Corner.
yeah, Speaker's Corner. Yeah.
Am I reading too much into this because I'm seeing a lot more acoustic music coming out? Um, and so songs are not forgotten or they're kept alive, whatever. I'm just seeing more, and I'm playing more acoustic versions of songs. There's a lot of them,
You mean just in general?
just in general.
Yeah. Perhaps people are starting to appreciate more the human organic nature of songs and performance, and I think that's wonderful.
Did I see a thing go by saying you're re-releasing Mothball Meat,
Oh,
your first album?
I just
Vinyl.
I never pressed it on vinyl. So I wanted to press my records on vinyl that never saw a vinyl release. And so I thought, oh gosh, well, I got to start at the beginning. And even though it's a strange little record, I still did a limited pressing of it. So for all the the freaky fans out there, you know,
19,
there.
1996, for God's sake. Um,
It it's a pretty cool little
Very
document, though.
cool, man. Very, very cool. And I couldn't talk to anybody else about it because nobody heard. I loved it. I'd like to see what the cover looks like and just remind us what the hot AC hit from it was, please.
Oh gosh. Well, I've done a remaking of a song off it called Glowworm, which is on the
Yes, you
new.
have. Yes.
Yeah, so they kind of connect that way. It's a strange little song. Back then, I thought it was really weird, and now I think, oh, now it kind of makes sense in this day and age.
Well
So,
done. Well done. By the way, did I miss the announcements about Wishbone? It was in the running for USA Film Festival.
oh yeah, it's been in a few film festivals. I don't think that festival has happened yet, but yeah, it's been accepted to about 7 festivals. The video was directed by Sarah Legault, who is an award-winning
Yes,
animator and director.
you work well together with her.
Yeah, I sent her a few songs, and that's the one she picked because she likes dark themes and stories. So that's the one she picked, and it's been a joy and pleasure working with her. We're really happy with it.
I stay away from your dark side. I'm looking. I'll tell you in a second because we're going to talk about. He's Kevin Hearn, and he has a new album out called Portland Parish, which for when I first saw the words, I thought, oh, Portland, Oregon, fantastic, but it's not. It's a different Portland entirely.
Yes, in Jamaica.
I've never been to Portland Parish. What is it like? Is it a small village? Is it a district of a bigger city?
Yeah, parish is like a county, or yeah. So it's near a little town called well, there's a little town in Portland Parish called San Antonio,
Okay.
and that's where we recorded the record up in the hills. Let me make sure I got that right. Port Antonio.
Port
Yeah,
Antonio. Okay.
Port Antonio.
What do you got?
Um,
You got your maps there?
I got my album credits.
Nice, nice.
I'm terrible with names sometimes. I apologize. But yeah, it's a cool little kind of remote part of Jamaica, and I worked there with Mark Howard, who's
Mhm.
a producer, and a fellow named Johnny O'Brien, who was Oscar Peterson's longtime piano technician. And he's Jamaican and he lives in the area and he knows all the pianos in that area because he's kind of the local guy who goes and
Okay.
tunes and restores pianos. So he was kind of our guide to where there were cool pianos. And
I
we did,
wondered how that happened.
yeah, we did three different locations. So wonder no more, Terry. You can rest easy
Well, I
tonight.
just kind of wondered why and why how would you who would know where those pianos were?
Exactly. That's what I was wondering. But Johnny O'Brien was the key. And Mark had worked with him with Danielle Lanois quite a few times. So that was sort of the connection. But the original idea I had was to go to spaces that kind of felt haunted. Like sometimes you'll find an old hotel that has a piano in it somewhere in a weird room and it just has this vibe. So I was like, let's try to find places like that where I can improvise and play and
But you've done that
make a,
before.
done that before. But this was these pianos were kind of beat up, and one of them had been flung against the wall in a hurricane, and Johnny had dried it out and fixed it back up. And so there was kind of spirits and stories to all of these locations and pianos. The Trident Hotel was another location, and that had been a real hot spot in the 50s and 60s for Hollywood actors and actresses like Elizabeth Taylor and that sort of thing. So they had that was the piano that got flung against the wall, but it was a cool location to play in.
And do you know now, looking at your album notes that your people have supplied, that which ones that Jamaican flung against the wall piano played on?
Do
Which
I?
tracks?
Yeah, sure. Let me consult my notes here. Tea at the Trident. That
Ah,
is
love that.
dead giveaway, but we ordered tea while we were working, and to be honest, the tea never came. So the track was originally called Forgotten Tea at the Trident, but I shortened it to Tea at the Trident.
I was walking with Josie today. She's down at my feet. She's 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
I just thought, Josie, let's just get through winter so that you can lie on the grass in the summer and just enjoy yourself, please. Oh, and she's walking down the road, and I hit that song, and I
Uh-huh.
immediately started to cry, bawled my eyes out.
Really?
And I'll send you the shot, and you marry your music to that shot, and then you'll see what I was dealing with. And I needed help. I needed to suck it up and get going. So I transitioned from Tea at the Trident to what did I hit? Shots.
Oh, yeah. $3 shots.
$3 shots.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was up again. Hey, let's go.
Hey, well, I know how tough it is to lose a dog friend. So, and that's getting up there for a dog, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Totally.
What breed of dog is it, Terry?
She is a white golden retriever. Handsome
Oh,
as hell. Oh my God. She's beautiful.
beautiful.
Josephine. So is it $3 shots? Where'd that come from? Where'd you get the drum track?
Well, I made the drum track, but I was walking in, it was Chicago one day, and there was a guy on the street. It was before a BNL concert, but he was selling drinks, and he was going, what did he say? The party starts here, $3 beer, $3 shots.
And you recorded them, and that's at the end,
I,
right
re-
at the tail end.
I recorded him with my phone, and then yeah, we put him through the vocoder and pitched him down, and I made some music around the voice.
Glowworm. I'm glad you redid that. Did you think about completely refashioning it, or just what?
Yeah, I kind of added a few lyrics, and if you hear the original, it's full of sounds and a lot of textures. I just wanted to strip it all away and make a nice piano voice version. And it just the character of the piano I was playing, it just sort of worked on certain songs in a sort of a Tom Waitsy kind of way, the roughness of it and the clicking of the hammers. And I thought that song was a good candidate, so I did a version of it.
Tom Waitsy-ish. I think the hot AC hit here off the album, if I could be so bold, is
Uh-huh.
is In the Shade.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Come on. I got it wrapped around my heart.
Oh, thanks. I love that one.
I mean,
That's
did they go in fully formed, or did you just take it from first chord? What happened? How did you choose your songs?
Well, some of them are made up on the spot, like
Yeah.
Tea at the Trident was made up at the Trident Hotel. In the Shade is another one that I kind of reinvented. That's originally from a EP I did called Havana Winter.
Yeah.
Uh, Lou Reed played guitar on the original of that one. Um, but it mentions the Blue Mountains in Jamaica, so I thought that was a good candidate.
Nice.
Yeah. I remember when I was on, can I tell you a Lou Reed story quick?
Sure, man. Absolutely.
We were on tour, and the crew sort of found this club where they would do an open mic, and they invited me to play. And surprise, surprise, Lou came to check it out. And when I sang In the Shade, and I sang the lyric, uh, and if one day you want to put flowers on my grave, you'll know where to find me. I'll be in the shade. And I heard Lou's cackling laugh, like from the back of the club. And I was like, okay, I made Lou laugh. That's good. I was so nervous. And then when we were walking back to the hotel, Lou goes, Kevin, I almost came up on stage to sing backing vocals, but I knew that I would freak you out.
And you,
And I remember asking him, I said, hey, Lou, if you ever just jumped up to do an open mic night like that, what song would you play? And he kind of thought about it for a second. And then he said, I would play Romeo and Juliet. So
wow.
I think that's the name of the song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Off
Uh,
of New York.
Kevin Hearn. The album is Portland Parish. And it's when does it come out? What's the date? What's the date on this thing?
Uh, it comes out May 30th.
Did you have to look at the album cover to get
I, it doesn't even say on the cover. I
that?
don't
Of
know
course
why.
it doesn't. So the 30th.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And I'm sure you'll be doing it on the Barenaked tour, right? So they'll all leave the stage so you can have the piano by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
They can't wait. You
I
know
thought
what's cool? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Go
go,
ahead.
go, go.
I just wanted to mention the Sun Ra cover, Sea of Darkness.
I do.
It's
That's what I was going to ask you about. I thought it was,
Oh, really?
the old country song.
No, it's a Sun Ra song, and there's only one other musician on this record, and that is on that song, and that's a fellow named Michael Ray. He's a legendary trumpet player who's played with Sun Ra and the Sun Ra Orchestra since 1975, and Kool and the Gang since about the same time. We become friends, and that's really a highlight of the record for me. That
Oh,
one.
me too, because I'm a trumpet player. Well, I
Are
was
you?
when I had lips. So yeah. Um, who's doing the
Huh.
harmony?
That's Michael Ray as well.
Wow,
Yeah,
very
isn't
nice.
that cool?
Can I play it?
I'd love for you to
Let
play
me
it.
go. I'll go play it right now. Kevin
You
Hearn.
mean you're going to play it on the trumpet?
No, no, I couldn't blow a note now, friend. This is Sea of Darkness, Kevin Hearn.
I'm glad you like In the Shade, Terry.
Oh, Doug, dig the shit out of it. Sorry, I can't say that. Um, I wrote down Love Begotten. Did I get that title right?
Yeah.
I wrote nice, really nice, but I didn't detail why I thought it was that because I was walking at the time. I had to make a little note there. Um, Tell me what the tune and where was the
Sure.
piano?
Um, this is the song that closes the record, and it is a hymn that I used to sing back in the choir. The whole title is Of the Father's Love Begotten, but I shortened it to Love Begotten. There's no lyrics. It's just the instrumental, a beautiful melody, beautiful meditation. And yeah, it was just something I decided to do right then and there at the session.
What begs a question. It's personal. Again, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. How do you find that balance between the guy on stage doing the Barenaked Ladies stuff in front of 5, 10,000 people and Love Begotten by yourself on a piano in Jamaica?
How do I find the balance?
Just can you be two different people in the same body?
Well, it's something I sort of need to do, Terry. I don't think I could do the Barenaked Ladies and only that, there's other the my world of music and the world of music is so huge. I love exploring it, and so that's why I keep doing it.
And have you found your audience for your altered self?
Oh, I think there's folks out there that enjoy what I do,
Well, I
and
know there are, but what do they talk? Do they give you feedback? Do you get a sense of who they are and what they're are they hearing things that even you don't know are in the music?
well, I love a song like Wishbone that Sarah completely latched onto because, that was a song I proposed for Barenaked Ladies record. It was turned down. And I thought, oh, that's too bad. I really love that song. And I sent her a list of songs. Um, and that was the one she wanted to do. So it's like, okay, there's people who out there who appreciate the music for what it is, the lyrics for what they are. It's maybe not necessarily a Barenaked Lady fan, but that's great. That's okay.
You just find your people. That's all. You just find your. I mean, look at the response you got from the blasting on Instagram, the Rivoli show. People are saying, "Oh, I wish I were there. Why can't I'm too far away? Why can't you?" You know, come on.
Yeah, well, I wish they could be there too, but I think we're going to have a good time. And it's good for me to keep pushing myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. Like it's very easy to just go do a Barenaked Lady show. Sure, it's work, and uh, but this is a way of challenging myself and continuing to grow in that way as well.
Well, you're out of your comfort zone now, friend. You're on CKAA radio and Mulligan's too with TD Mulligan. I mean, you all bets are off. All bets are.
You always make me feel comfortable, Terry. You're good at that.
That's why I wish I were right around the corner. I really would. Um, I want to come full circle again and just talk about Portland Parish. The relationship you have with pianos that have either been forgotten or damaged or given up on, so to speak. This is a couple of times that we've talked about that in your makeup. Uh, does it speak to you about a piano being almost human-like, just alive, and that's what you give it? You give it that love.
Yes, I think not just piano, but any instrument can pull certain things out of you, and each piano, every piano has a story, especially old ones, of course. They have a story and they've been in spaces where things have happened. And I kind of love that. And I love connecting with an instrument on that level and seeing what I'm inspired to play.
Because you have no idea who's played that piano. It
Yeah.
could be Count Basie on tour. It could be anybody.
Yeah, I remember playing a piano that belonged to Glenn Gould once, and
Mm.
I think I played the Spider-Man theme on it.
Ah.
It was it was at Rideau Hall or something. It was, yeah. Anyhow.
I did an interview recently, and I was interviewing, editing it, and now I got to come up with a name. And he said, "I bought a B3 organ. Why did you need one? Oh, I know it was Matt Anderson." And I said, "Why?" He said, "I just loved it. I loved that, and I want it in my studio." He said, and then I found out later that it was the keyboard setup that Leonard Cohen took on tour with him.
Oh, wow.
Think about the stages that setup has been on.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I remember they had a big Leonard Cohen show here at the AGO, and they had his actual keyboard in a case. And
Was that the one he made fun of? Or said, "I'm sure you people don't know how this works. This is very specific." And they played like birthday party. It was very funny, very funny. I loved his sense of himself was fantastic.
he certainly had a good sense of humor about himself and his voice. And yeah, I have a very fond memory of Leonard Cohen, but it's a bit of a story. But
Go, man.
yeah,
Yep.
okay. It was at a Chapters bookstore here, and Leonard was going to do a reading from his new book, and he hadn't appeared live in years and years. And he didn't want to perform music, he just wanted to read. So they asked some local musicians to do some of his songs. I was there, Steve Page, Jim Cregan, Ron Sexsmith, a few others, and we were rehearsing in the basement of the Chapters before the event. And the elevator doors opened, and there was Leonard Cohen with his entourage, and they had the areas roped off so that he had his own private space. But I remember he heard us singing, and he stepped over the ropes, and he came over to us and started singing his songs with us. And I remember after a couple songs, I said, "Oh, is this okay if we just keep going?" And he said, "Yes, I know all these songs." And then he said, "Why don't we do this up there?" And so it turned out, instead of us just performing his songs, we ended up performing them with him on stage. And it was his first public performance in years. And it was a highlight of my life, I have to say.
They didn't happen to record it at the soundboard, did they?
Not that I know of. I have some photos, but that's it.
Yeah, photos. Wow, nice
Yeah.
story. I'll trade you one. Uh,
Okay.
Leonard had just come from New York and was playing in Vancouver, the end of a tour or start of a tour, probably start of a tour. And I had a chance to interview him very briefly down at Granville Island. And the part of the interview that really got to me was he said, he's still a frustrated songwriter. I asked him about songwriting. Does it exact what is it exact from you? Because I knew he had some of his lyrics and some of his melodies just were painful pulling out. He couldn't find the beginning or the end or the middle. And he said, I just talked to Bob Dylan in New York, and I said, "Do you have the same problems that we do? That I can't." And Bob said, "It took me about 3-4 minutes to write Lay Lady Lay." And Leonard said it took him 8 years to write Suzanne. So it's, you live in an amazing world, Kevin. You really do. Just existing in it.
What did you think of the Bob Dylan movie? Did you see
Oh,
it?
I loved it. Oh, I loved it. I knew I was going to love it when I read because I was interviewing the director. Um, the the uh, the fact that the singers sang the songs, learned them
Yeah.
over 3, 4, 5 years, and they had an audience and they were singing to the audience. They did a concert for those guys down at Newport, and they were there, and they nailed it. They nailed it. No, there was no lip syncing, no none of that jive. Just all worked out.
Yeah, I kept expecting them to cut away from the song performance after 13 seconds or something, but it was always like, no, you're gonna be in that performance for the whole song. I thought that was great.
I was very impressed because Hollywood's version of life stories. You know, it's
Yeah,
not pretty.
yeah. And even though they may have finessed it a little here and there, it was still done with love and care, I felt, you know.
True, and I think those opinions won out because there were some naysayers. Oh no, that's not the way Newport went down. No, I was there. Yeah, really? You remember that? Um, anyway, I loved it. They were true to the story, and they had like Michael Bloomfield was a part of the band. You know, they all got that right, got it right.
Yeah.
And many of the instruments were vintage instruments, they of the time. And
Yeah, I felt it was as much a great movie about the music business back then as it was about Bob Dylan.
absolutely, it was a statement.
Uh,
If you haven't seen it, just know that the Led Zeppelin documentary that just came out from the beginning. It was all about, but it's called before Led Zeppelin. Um, it's when they were unknowns or they were studio guys to first fame, and God knows what was going to happen after that. It was 18 months of their life from just getting to know one another, hooking up, deciding this is the way they're going to go, and then doing those first couple of albums was phenomenal.
okay.
You know,
I like
I
to
know
see that.
I know because the rest of it just exploded after that. All right, so what else you want to promote? What do you got? What's coming? What's going on? Anything? No, don't look at your notes anymore. There's no looking at your notes.
Uh,
What are you going to do with the rest of this year, other than maybe not spend a lot of time down in the States, or will you?
well, we had a tour booked in the States, you know, in the books already. So we're doing a summer tour down there, the BNL. We have one Canadian show at the Budweiser stage here in the summer, and I think we might do some fall touring. And I'm working on a project as well you might be interested in called the Great Lakes, and that's with the Rio Statics with Alex Lifeson on guitar.
Nice.
And we're just getting into the stage of mixing that right now. So hopefully we'll be performing that later in the year.
What's working title again?
The Great Lakes Suite.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. By the way, I've been seeing a story published a couple of times. Canadians traveling in the States for conventions or whatever, they were booked, like you say, they're booked when they're in elevators or coffee shops, and they ask where you're from. Oh, we're from Canada, and here's the reaction. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, we're so sorry. We can't. We're so sorry with what we've done to you guys, and it was continuous. It happened every day, and so it's a very strange time in our lives, Kev.
Yeah. It's so strange. I can't believe it's happening. But we've toured down there for so many years, and there's just so many good people down there, and they're hurting, you know.
Does it get
So
mentioned on the stage at all when you guys are out there?
no, you know, we try to keep our performances at a as a unifying event, you know, and people, I don't think they need to hear what we have to say about it as much as they need a laugh or just to escape uh,
But they know you're
what's
from
going.
Canada. They know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, Kev. So we won't see you in the West. You're not coming this way.
Not on this run, no. Not to Vancouver. Sorry.
That's not right, Kevin. That's just not right. So,
Sorry, Dad.
and right now, would you, by the way, on this election day, the 28th of April, would you please now tell us who will win the Ottawa Toronto Maple Leafs series?
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me?
That's the first of two questions.
I hope it's, well, I'm a Toronto guy, so I
Uh,
hope it's Toronto, but they always seem to lose it in the last second.
and who will play for the Stanley Cup this year, please?
Oh, Terry, I am a piano player. I'm not a sports guy. I'm
Okay, fine.
sorry.
And who's going to win? Who's going to win the cup? Come on, it'll be the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? Okay.
It'll be Cool in the Gang.
Celebrate. Come on, let's go. Thank you for this. Thank you for the tunes. I'll play them. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting me and chatting with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate our friendship. Thank you.
I value the friendship. Thank you. Kevin Hearn.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Terry.
Man. God, I'd love to see you down the road.
Well, next time I'm out there, let's just do a non-business tea or lunch or
It's
something.
going to hang up on you now.
Okay.
It's not me.
See you soon.
Okay, bye.